is up, everybody? My name is James D. Shorey, and this is Blackballed. It's Casual Friday, and I didn't use my Casual Friday intro. You want to know why? I've drank a bottle of wine. And why did I do that? I just wanted to. And here's my co-host. His name is Douglas Connors. Douglas, how are
I
you, buddy?
drank a bottle of wine. Here's my co-host.
Well, you know what? There's not much more to say than that. Like at 5 o'clock, I was like, I could open a bottle of wine, but maybe I should or shouldn't. And then I decided just to do it. And I regret it as I'm talking. But at the same time, you and I spent some time in Ottawa recently. And
Right.
I want you to, can you tell the story about the first place that we went and the waitresses? Because I won't be able to tell it right now, but I think you would be able to tell it fine. And I will absolutely pipe in if I think you were incorrect on any of the details. What do you think?
Uh, All right. So we're at this outdoor patio. It's a little classier than a pub, a little more upscale. Um, and it's a lovely day. And James and Paul, or Mr. Grizzly, if you follow our show, had been there for probably about an hour when I arrived. And if you watch our show, you see the clip of our meeting for the first time, which was
Yeah,
very great. He gives very good hugs, by the way.
I'm a good
Um,
hugger.
yes, you are a good
Very good
hugger.
hugger.
You are
Yeah.
a good hugger. Yes, and we had a drink there before going off to a barbecue, and there were uh, two servers there who I hope had an exceptionally good sense of humor, or else.
Hey, Douglas, come on.
I'm just saying, man. Uh, it was pretty bold.
Okay, first of
You were
all, it
pretty
was
bold.
Emma
Now,
and
one of
Mimi.
now, yes, there's yes. I don't know
Yeah.
if we wanted to mention names, but okay.
Well,
And we're talking uh, two very um, elegant women, I would say.
Regal. I would
Uh,
call him Regal.
okay, uh,
Yeah.
but
You're like, all
two
right.
different body types as well,
Yes.
right?
And
So like
hairstyles. I might add.
hairstyles and whatnot. So if you're looking for a common type or anything, it had nothing to do so much with looks, but probably with carriage.
Exactly right. I
Yes.
look pretty good so far in this story, but go
Oh
ahead.
yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
How that translates. After a couple of beers, however, um, um, with Emma, uh, I do believe you were very, very gregarious and inviting her to join us at the barbecue after.
When
In
you say
in
gregarious, do
yes,
you mean like daring or awkward?
very, very friendly and very, very chatty and very, very talkative and very, very extroverted.
Okay. Okay. That sounds awkward to me more
Very,
than
very.
I didn't feel awkward doing it though. I
No,
like
no, no, no. Like this, I mean, you could tell there was back and forth. So I mean,
yeah.
it was there was consent. Uh, so
You
it
mean I
was
could
a
have done anything I wanted?
no,
Just kidding.
no, 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 no. But I mean, like for the shtick to go back and forth, right?
There was no
Uh,
stick. I thought she was okay. Can I interject for a second?
yes, you may.
I believe that this person was both regal, not both, but many things. And one of those things was she was regal. She was very kind of classically attractive,
Mhm.
and she was friendly but not fake.
Right.
And her name was Mimi. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying her last name, and I'm not saying what pub she served at, but like her name was Mimi. And I was just like, hey, listen. And because you know what, everything, a sociopath that I used to be friends with, who's now dead, once told me that when I told him that he was projecting, he looked at me very seriously. And he was like, "We're always all projecting." That's what he said. He's like, every time we speak, we're projecting.
Yes.
And despite the fact that he's a sociopath, I think he might be right about that. But in any event, I said to this lady, or I said to myself, I'm just going to invite this lady to a barbecue. I'm not going to try to like have an ulterior motive or do anything like untoward or weird. I just want to see if she'll come. And she didn't come. But then the second waitress came, and I transformed into a different James,
Oh
into a more
yes,
like giddy. Please kick the shit out of me, James. Can you please explain to the viewers
yes.
why that happened?
The other um, server in question uh, was, how would I say, looked like she did CrossFit.
Say that again.
Looked like she did CrossFit.
Yes, she looked
Well,
strong,
like,
like she did a lot of these.
yeah, strong.
Yeah,
I guess still elegant because strong is beautiful.
very
But,
regal, very
but
much so. Like in a
exactly,
pencil skirt, she would have been the
yes,
bomb.
yes,
Like, yeah,
yes, and so, but definitely, um, no, but I mean, definitely, her personality matched that as well,
fair.
which was nice. So there was two different dynamics. So James, uh, I think he says it's the same thing, just a bit like Paul, just like wanted to invite her to a barbecue and whatnot. But
Go on,
I have a feeling that there
go on.
was not only just that.
I admit the second server, Emma, who's the same name as my grandma, was like I made the joke in front of her.
Yes.
I said, "I'll do whatever you want as long as you carry me to bed," because I think you probably could carry me to bed.
Yes.
And and I thought that was charming. Turns out,
Probably not. Probably not.
um, sorry, I'm battling a form of COVID, and if I laugh, I'll cough. Um, this woman, she placated me in the best way possible. Is that fair?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need some water. Douglas, can you talk to the crowd while I get some water? I
Absolutely.
really need it. Hold on.
Yes.
Go
Yes,
ahead and
I
talk.
can. All right. So yes. Um while he's not here. Uh yeah, so I thought it was a little tad forward. And but near the end of the evening, as we were getting ready to go, and I think as he was paying the bill or something, he mentioned something with regard to um, whether or not she would, uh, if she could please punch him, like right here in the face or something. And just go like, "N-" and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, that just got a little, not that it wasn't a little weird before, but a little weirder. And she did placate him. She says, "No, I don't think. I think we have laws against that." So I think it's sort of like, if I really want you to, it's like, no, I really would like to keep my job. And then she says, "But there is such thing that she's heard of as a drink called, and I don't remember the name of it, a hurricane. I think it is a hurricane shot." And then James turns around and says, "Well, what's a hurricane shot?" And that's when your server serves you the shot. You take your shot, and as soon as you put your head back down, smack across
Oh,
the
I would have loved that. She didn't offer that shit. I didn't hear what you said anytime before that, but whatever you just said there, I was like, yeah, that I asked her to hit me.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
called a hurricane shot?
Yes, that's called I believe it's a hurricane shot, is what she said. So yeah, it got a little 50 Shades for a second there.
Oh, fucking 100 shades. It was great.
But she did
Yeah.
look like she could carry him.
You know
Like
what?
just
You know what the
pick him
thing
up,
is?
throw him over her shoulder and carry him to bed, and then just like throw him onto the
Listen,
bed. She did look
Douglas,
like she would have the ability to do that. I don't know about the
If you're
will,
not
but
a
the
switch,
ability.
you're not trying.
Oh no, I
That's
agree
how I
there.
look at it.
I
Like
agree.
if I can carry her to bed, she should probably be able to carry me to bed. You know?
Mm, I see that. No. I definitely understand the value of being a Switch.
The
That I
value
will
is the
say.
best of both worlds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Well, yeah. Are you a Switch?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Jem
I
Waddell,
have a
would you like to join the
preference.
conversation, or is this too
I
inappropriate?
have a preference, but yeah, I'm a Switch. I like to make people happy, so whether I have to be on the top or the bottom, whether I have to be dominant or submissive, whether whatever it is, it's like
A
it's like
bearded
if it
giver.
makes you feel good, I'm your guy. So
Good to know.
yeah,
Douglas, you and I had a nice dinner the last time I was
yes
in
we
Ottawa.
did. Yes we did. Yes we did.
What did you
We
eat? I forget.
uh where did we meet?
What did you eat?
Oh, what did I eat? I believe it
Give me one
was
second. I have to get an
a
ashtray. Hold
salmon
on.
dish.
Keep talking.
I believe it was a salmon dish that I had. Yeah, we went to. James had stayed in town. We were in Ottawa at the same time, and James had stayed in town for a few extra days, and as had I. So I think the day after, or 2 days after, we had that barbecue together. We met up for dinner for evening, and that was nice too because the first time we met was in company. So we're spreading time with two other people, and part of it is making food and setting up the table and that type of stuff. So we're doing stuff, and this second moment with you, we were just sitting there and just it was just us, and we just got to talk, and I really enjoyed that very much actually. It was a
What's
lovely evening.
Kingston like,
Uh,
Douglas?
ha-
Honestly,
have you been to Ottawa in the early '80s?
for a school trip, but nothing substantial.
Okay, vibe like in terms of pace of life and number of people or whatnot, it's sort of like Ottawa in the early '80s, except we have all the modern stuff from 2024, right? Like today's
Okay.
culture and today's stuff. So it's not as stuffy as Ottawa was back then. Um, but in terms of size, it's that, and it's a little different than in Ottawa because in Ottawa on long weekends, people tend to um, go out of town to Montreal and Toronto and other places. But Kingston seems to be a place where people come to, like from Peterborough and Belleville and all that. So there's always something going on, and with St. Lawrence College and RMC and Queens, there's a lot of students. So
Like
there's
wrestling
always
and rock and roll kind of thing.
no, but yeah, there's always some activities and buzz around town and stuff, right? It's not like the downtown core just goes to sleep. There's the there there's some life, yeah, and at it's not Montreal by any stretch, but I remember as a kid, and it's changed a lot now. But I remember as a kid, with that joke about Ottawa rolling up the sidewalks at 6 o'clock and storing them really was a thing.
Yeah.
Like it seriously was a thing. You'd be out after 6 and there'd be nothing going on. That's not the case here. There's always some students and some buzz and some activity. Um, so it's great. It's a pretty good active living city. But probably not as good as Ottawa, but a good active living city. Particularly if you like sailing and kayaking and paddling and whatnot. Because Kingston, if you don't know, when we had the 1976 Summer Olympics, the sailing events were in the basin here in Kingston, even though the games were set in Montreal. So it's a good city for that, with some hiking trails and stuff if you like that. So it's pretty cool that way. It's the city with the most eateries per capita, so there's lots of good food here. Um, so yeah, and because it's also, according to my partner Alex, the city in Canada with the most PhDs per capita, there's if you like cultural stuff,
Oh, how
there's
elitist.
there's a level of cultural life here that you wouldn't expect for a city this size, but it's because we have the population to sustain it. So it's
I feel the
actually kind
same
of
way
fun. You
about
get the best of all
Dundas.
worlds. Pardon?
Dundas, Ontario is like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they have professors that teach at everywhere from what is that one in Cambridge? Cambridge,
Cambridge.
Kitchener. I can't remember the name of the university. Oh, Brock, St.
Oh,
Catharines.
St.
Brock.
Catharines.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost went
So
there.
did you really?
Yeah.
It's very beautiful, the campus. Like
I know.
I went to a community college in Niagara, and we used to party with the people that went there, and it was like, holy shit, this is like the stark difference between a community college and a university in Canada could not be overstated. It is
Right.
crazy.
Right. Yeah, I hadn't known much about community colleges until I went into St. Lawrence here because my beaver sweetie teaches there, and it's yeah, it is very different than the university. It's quite interesting.
Yeah,
So
no,
anyway,
it
you were
really is.
saying,
Yeah, it just like I went to community college at Niagara College for journalism in Welland, Ontario.
okay,
And Welland is like it has bingo halls, strip clubs, and secondhand stores. Its population has probably decreased. I used to laugh with my roommate, who's a good friend of mine, Dave. We both grew up in Whitby together, and we went to Niagara College, and we were based in the Welland campus, and we used to go out and just be like, "This is crazy!" Like there were so many graveyards that we joked that there were more dead people in Welland than people who were alive.
oh jeez,
Legitimately, that's what we thought.
yeah,
And and then now I'm like, if I could do my university or secondary post secondary school over again, I would probably choose university like McGill or York or something like that. Not U of T. I don't think I would choose that, but I don't know. There. You ever have that? Yeah, I don't know if you have a same. It's probably for people like me that dropped out, but people that did not drop out, I wonder if they have the same regrets as to where they would have taken their post secondary education.
mm, hmm. I see. That's an interesting question for me because I had lots of stops and starts. My first post secondary experience was at McMaster, and I loved the campus, but I hated what I was studying very quickly.
Oh,
And I've realized very quickly about a month and a week in that this isn't not for me. And I had a 4-year scholarship. Oh, and I tried to transfer it to something else, and they said no, I couldn't. So I went home for Thanksgiving, and they were sort of like, I don't want to go back. So we went back for my stuff, and we picked a.
how did that go?
What do you mean? How did that go? To? Oh yeah, that went well. That went well. I was miserable. I
Yeah,
was miserable. I did not, I made the mistake of going to university that had a program that was very prestigious, thinking that that was a way to get a leg up in life when you're 19 and you're dumb, like everyone, because
idealistic,
yeah,
maybe.
idealistic. But just like this program accepts 50 students and it's the only one like it in Canada. And if I get in there and I graduate from there, it's going to be guaranteed that I'm going to be off to the races, whatnot. And it's just instead of I got accepted to journalism in Carleton, right? I could have gone there. Like this, and I chose this instead. And it's just like So and yeah, it was just a bad choice all around. Like it was very clear that this was not where I was supposed to be.
What
Uh,
did you do with your journalism degree?
I didn't get a journalism degree. I
Oh,
had got accepted to journalism in Carleton, but I didn't take it because I went to
oh,
McMaster. Right.
right.
And it's like, damn, I should have went to journalism. I mean, especially when you're looking at what I'm doing now, I should have gone to journalism in Carleton. Like, that clearly wasn't my passion. So I should have followed that. But I went where the prestige was.
Right.
So, and that was a dumb mistake that I made at 19. Uh, then during that year, I bumped into a friend of mine who's actually studying ballet at York. And I'm sitting there and go, wait a minute, you could do a degree in dance at university? He goes, yeah, sure. There's like 2 or 3 universities in Canada where you can. So I looked them up and like this, and I believe the other one's Simon Fraser, but one other one is Concordia. And Concordia had a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Contemporary Dance. And I had been studying contemporary dance since I was 8.
Since you were 8,
So at 8, like this, I wanted to be a dancer. Like that
you
was what I wanted
understood
to
what the
do with
word
my life.
contemporary meant when you were 8.
No, not when I was 8, but I didn't have the body
Oh,
for ballet. So
right.
I started in jazz and then went
Yeah.
off. So, but contemporary is where I really found modern dance is where I found because, various body types, so long as you can move, a choreographer can work with your body. and to create something. Whereas in a ballet, you're often in a set pattern, and if your body can't do that, then you don't get the part. Whereas in contemporary, if your body can't do that, sometimes they'll say, okay, we'll switch it up. Let's do this. What can your body do? So it's a little more friendly in that sense. It's not any less technical, but it's more friendly. It's less rigid.
How did your education prepare you for the debate 2 nights ago? That's called a hard pivot.
That's a trick question. But yeah, so the dance school, I got in.
I want to go into the debate now.
Yeah.
I really do.
But just to finish this part, I got in, and then I busted up my leg pretty bad in the first few weeks, and that sort of put an end to that. And that's how I ended up in communications ultimately.
Yeah,
and that's what
usually
prepared
takes an injury
me for
to
the
end up in
debate.
communications.
Yeah, and that's how I ended up prepared for the debate, because I ended up ultimately graduating in communications.
Okay, so your communications degree, based off an injury, based off a choice you didn't want to make, based off this, based off that, led you to 2 nights ago, because inevitably it would.
Yes.
Donald Trump and Kamala had their first debate against each other. Aside from the pets and the eating of pets, what were your thoughts overall about the debate?
The way I look at debates are always a little weird, because there's my communications person, and then I actually did do debating, like for a long time. I actually went to the nationals, and the debating is completely different than what happens there, right?
I think it would, our viewers and listeners would be better served for the debate, not the debater in you, but the communications expert in you, because I think most people look at it as like, who performed better, and that's
So I mean, if we're looking on substance, it's pretty clear, right? It's Kamala Harris, because she actually brought some and the other did not. But then it's how you present, and it's going to be one of those things again. Unfortunately, I do not think that, given just to the extent at which the population is already polarized and people are pretty much already decided, and given that you're competing for about, I don't know, 70,000 votes in 3 or 4 states, really, that it won't move the needle very much. I think it creates a permission structure for people who wanted to sit it out to come in and vote, for people who are moderate Republicans to this time lend the Democratic Party their vote, like Dick Cheney is doing, whatnot. I think it created a permission structure for that. Kamala Harris definitely did what it is that she needed to do, and presented as a serious, responsible person that you could leave unsupervised with a pack of matches, right? So she, in my view, she won. My view, she did herself a lot of good. I don't think it's going to result in like a 2 or 3, 4% bump in the polls, but it will probably more increase the percentage of decided voters that are saying that they're definitely going to be voting for her. As for the other guy, those who haven't jumped off the bandwagon right now got 2 scoops of whatever it is they like to yum, and so they think he won, and then down we go.
It was a fun ride. Well, it lasted.
But unlike the other debates, this was actually a fun ride. It was entertaining to watch.
I'm going to eat your dogs. I'm a migrant. Like it's so funny. Like and listen, the truth is there was a few very isolated incidences that happened on a police body cam that made it seem like someone ate a cat, but it's so isolated that to bring it up at a presidential debate as if it's like commonplace is completely absurd.
And I don't know again, in what dimension, universe, galaxy, planet, solar system, country, continent, postal code, or area code that going to a debate and talk about people eating cats and dogs is going to win you? Like it was such a what the fuck
You just have
that.
to like understand that even if one thing happens, in order to bring it up in a presidential debate, it
Mhm.
must be
Yes,
common,
right.
at least. Like you're trying to speak for the people. Like imagine how many things have happened just one or two times in the United States just yesterday,
Hmm.
and then mentioning it as if it's like a big problem. You know,
Yeah,
like
we're not
I,
talking Heather Heyer at Charlottesville here.
no, no, like this is very basic shit. Like this is like okay, you know. So like if you, I was begging, I was telling David Wallace the other day that I would love to see Simpsons memes about Cletus eating roadkill of certain type, just because it's so random that it doesn't even matter. Cletus doesn't matter. Like Donald Trump is essentially arguing for the minority version of Cletus's infesting the
Yeah.
Springfield, Ohio area, wherever the fuck it was. Like,
And it's like, and the irony is that he just like brought onto his team a couple of weeks ago a guy who literally said he ate roadkill.
oh really? Who's that?
RFK Jr.
Oh, that's well, yeah, that's a little.
and ate a dog. I mean, I'm just like I'm
It
just
was a bear, wasn't it?
no. The bear was the carcass he found and then put somewhere in a park. I think Central Park, making it look like it got hit by a bicycle or something, or trying
Yeah,
to
and then he
stage
wanted to
something.
eat it though.
Yes, but he wasn't going to be able to get it home in time or something.
Something like
So he
that,
left
yeah.
it like that. Yeah, and then
Right. Do you
there
think
was the thing
that
with, and then there was
that
the
just
thing with
was
the
a
whale
strange
head.
way of being like, I want to use the environment for sustainability purposes? Like, or do you think that that actually happened?
Who knows? He had a worm, right?
Yeah, that's weird. Everything's so weird. We're living in a computer simulation. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. Pierre
I
Poilievre
just
wants to call a no confidence vote. Here's
yes,
what's going to happen. He'll call it, and then the NDP caucus, who won't be whipped, will say no, and then nothing will happen, and then
right.
we'll have an election in about 14 months. What are your thoughts?
I the first one will probably go like that. He is probably going to keep on putting the old stupid carbon tax. Let's have a carbon tax election, confidence motions every freaking opportunity he gets, because this is the thing that I find interesting. Clearly, he wants to destroy Singh, so there must be some internal numbers that are not showing that he's not as inevitable as he's presenting himself to be. If he feels he really needs to devote some of that party money to destroying Singh, because out west the two-way battles are more conservative in NDP because the Liberals are nowhere, except for like in the Greater Vancouver area, and maybe a little bit in Winnipeg. But other than that, the Liberals are nowhere. East of west of Ontario, so he must. But Pierre must be somewhat worried in some way over there. Um, but yes, Pierre will keep on putting these confidence motions. Singh is definitely, there's no way I think it is happening in this calendar year for sure, just because there are 3 provincial elections coming, and it's the same staff that they're going to need on the ground for both of them. And for 2 of them, Saskatchewan and British Columbia, they actually have a chance to winning provincially. So there's nobody that's going to let go of any resources there to help in a federal campaign. So, and then we get to November, December. It's probably not going to happen for Christmas. So I would say it could happen after Christmas if somebody wanted to pull the plug. But the first real opportunity would probably be the budget. Yes, and the only
Yeah,
way that doesn't fall at the budget for a June election, and the only way that doesn't fall is if the NDP still doesn't have the finances or resources it needs to feel it can win, or the Bloc just decides to fuck with everyone, because the
yeah.
Conservatives need both of them. So all the Bloc has to do is say no. And Yves Blanchet has no love for either Singh or Poilievre, so he's not inclined to help them in any way.
I feel you're mostly right. I also feel that the NDP after making this maneuver, should be planning to oust Singh as their leader
Yes.
to insert someone else before the next election.
Yes.
Because they must know that he's not going to, he's not going to fulfill the, expectations of people within the caucus.
If he does not win in the by-elections on Monday, the Elmwood Transcona, which has been basically a Blakey seat for 40 years, but if that one goes Conservatives, and he also doesn't take the La Salle Villemar Verdun one because there's been a lot of buzz about the being a tight three-way race and the NDP might win it. If he doesn't win those two, then the talk could very well be, while everybody's been talking, is Justin Trudeau going to go if he loses La Salle Villemar? Singh might be the first leader to actually go.
Yeah.
That's the little subplot that nobody's talking about, but that if the dice fall, dominoes fall that way, we might be having a new leader, but it won't be either Liberal or Conservative.
No. Douglas Connors from the Eager Beaver podcast. Thank you, man. I appreciate you coming.
My pleasure. It's always a joy to see you.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. This is just a quick one. Part of it is because I drank a bottle of wine before I got on stage, or whatever the fuck this is. But the other thing is that I can't do 4-hour podcasts anymore. Like I am very pacey. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I ate dinner with you for what, an hour and a half? I got up from the table 4 times?
Yep. I think so, yeah. Well, I think we were there for about 2 hours actually.
I need to.
Yep.
I need to get up. It's not just about having a butt. I just need to get up. Like,
yep.
I was diagnosed as ADHD when I was like 36, which was crazy because I spent the rest of my life before that believing that I was just weird, right? And then when I got diagnosed, I still had a friend that was like, dude, ADHD isn't a mental health issue. It's a personality type. And I'm like, oh. So then everyone I saw after that, I was like, just a personality type. They're like, no, not quite that. And I still haven't figured out if it is or isn't. But I like getting up from tables. And I'm sorry if I offended you.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That was a good dinner. Douglas, we'll see you next time, buddy. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, my friend.
Have a good one. We'll see you next time on Black Ball.
Blackmore. 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 Blackmore.